Just being honest and real here. If I don't pay my bills, I won't have internet. I might, I won't have anything. I have to work. So, basically, we did our co-op stream last night, which was Kat and I streaming Dondoko Island. This is our second session of this virtual island community that's a hybrid between, say, Animal Crossing or Disney Dreamlight Valley or other similar sim-style games like that. And the goal last night was to hit 3-star rating on our resort, because when you hit a 3-star rating is when you get your next big reward of money that you could spend in the real game outside of the Dondoko Island. So we sat down to do it, and first of all, just to be completely transparent here, already I could tell it was a stressful day for my wife. She had a bunch of other stuff going on. She was running around. She had to cook a big dinner and everything. And I could tell when she came in here, already she was like pissed off from other stuff that had nothing whatsoever to do with the stream. She was happy to be here. She wanted to do it. But that, already you could tell, like, that's already the bad, the bad start, right? And so we sit down to do it, and we start to play, and we're having fun. We're both having fun again. Like, oh, this is cool. We're jumping in. We're building again and everything. And what ended up happening was a couple of things, all right? Number one, baby, if you're tired, you don't have to stick around. If you're really sore and tired, you can go.
Yeah, I need to stand up.
All right, go ahead. No, baby, no one's forcing you to be here.
I mean, you already know what you're doing, so.
Yeah, you can take off for the night. Just say goodbye to everyone,
All right.
that's all.
Bye.
She's beat. You have to understand, Kat is not used to doing this. She is not a streamer in any capacity, right? So it's exhausting to her to do this. She's trying, you guys wanted to see her be here part of gameplay, right? And she's doing her absolute best, but I totally get it. When you get people in the chat who want to keep prying and asking silly questions, like, for example, people are asking her about how she does her beauty stuff. Like, this is not a beauty stream. Wow, they are fucking idiots. She's not going to sit here and talk to you about her skincare routines and how she does her makeup and stuff like that. It's supposed to be a fun co-op gameplay stream. If you were to ask me about my daily routine, about how I do stuff, I'm not going to sit here and talk about that all day either. You know what I mean? So you're getting prying questions like that. It's like, ugh. So you want to respond to everyone in the chat. When you get people starting to ask silly things like that, it's like, now you got to start picking and choosing the commentary that you want to do and talking with who you want to talk about, right? And yes, I'll be honest, there were a couple people who were basically excited to be there, but they definitely, and it's not just one person, but it's a few people who are like, I want my question answered, so I'm going to spam it 400 times in the chat. Boom, 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 boom. It's like, it's draining. Because this is something that I literally do all day, every day. I'm used to it. Kat is not. Kat is not a streamer. So she's seeing it firsthand. Now she's starting to see the kind of stuff that I have to handle literally every single day. And it starts to get to you. It's like, oh my God, every time you look at the chat, it's the same people, the same questions, the same thing over and over. It's like, oh my God, right? But then in combination with that, so I would say, play with others, play with others, play with us, join the party, play with us, join the party, come on, friends list, add me, no, shut the fuck up. Last time when we did it, earlier in the week, it was more first time doing it. It was more fun because it was the early stages of the Dondoko Island where everything's getting set up. You're having your first guest. You're doing your initial setup. It's a lot more interesting and fun, okay? And I'll be honest, people were excited to see her back. Remember, she hadn't been on a stream in a few weeks. So it was exciting to see her back. People had genuine, interesting questions and things like that, correct? But then, last night, not only are we coming back only a few days after the last co-op session, so it's relatively quick since the last one we did, but now the game is becoming way more grindy. And what I mean by that is, in 2 hours, our first session, we got 2-star levels. So it was level 1, level 2, double rewards, big momentum. It took us the entirety of last night's stream to hit the 3-star resort level. Okay? So it's a grind at this point. It's like, you got to keep building more stuff. You got to build the right stuff to appease the guests. You got to keep collecting and crafting items to get your popularity rating up. You got to be clearing the new areas of the island and then cleaning them out and then raising enough money to buy them. You've got to, catch the bugs, fight the intruders, do this, do that. And after a while, instead of it feeling fun, it becomes more like busy work, right? Now, the one thing that did open up in Dondoko Island last night that was interesting was the farming area. So basically, here's what happened. We played for 1 hour, and After that hour, you know, here's the thing. I can read my wife. I can tell when she has a change in attitude or whatever. Number one, I could tell she was getting tired already, because keep in mind, again, she's not a streamer. She doesn't sit here in this chair all day. She's not used to it. So I could tell she starts to move like this. I could tell, wow, she's uncomfortable. She's probably having like soreness or back pain from sitting here. And I could tell, like, interacting with the chat wasn't as fun. Like, there wasn't as many interesting questions or really discussions that we were doing. So it was like the game's getting kind of boring. She's getting tired and sore. And basically, we're not having much conversation of meaning with the chat. So it's kind of like the trifecta of, oh, God, this is kind of not working right now, right? You know what? There's a little quote from a song from the 1990s. The quote goes as follows. If you're bored, then you're boring. There's enough going on in life to not be bored. I'm just saying. So basically, after about an hour, I asked her, you know, would you like me to jump in? And that way, you know, we could tag out, basically. I can play. And you could just, you know, help me with some of the suggestions or whatever. So he said, yeah, so that's what we did. So I started playing in the second hour. And even that, I can tell you, I started playing, I was bored. Like, I was fucking starting to knock. No kidding. I'm sitting here with my wife next to me with a live stream of hundreds of people, and my eyes are starting to droop. I was like, dude, this is fucking boring. Like, wow. And then, so basically, here's the thing. Yet again. Gorilla Pimp Chew says, what's up? I hate this boring-ass game. I would rather eat bird shit live on a stream than play this here. And here's hoping you're having a beautiful day. Thank you very much for that support, Gorilla X Pimp. I appreciate that. I talked to Kat off camera about it, and I was like, wow, that was really boring. She goes, yeah, like, now she's realizing, she's like, when I did it myself, she was doing it in the living room, on the couch casually, right? Relaxed atmosphere. There's no pressure to make progress. If she got bored, she could leave and go play more of the game and then go back to it. It wasn't like, oh, we're really concretely for 2.5 hours just trying to make progress in it. So what happens is you take a mode that's meant to be more like a casualized mode that you do from time to time to earn currency for your game, and you turn it into like work. And it doesn't actually work like that. It gets boring when you treat it like that, you know? If it were more riveting or interesting or actual meaningful progress in the story or gameplay, probably would have loved it. But instead, it just ends up feeling like a boring grind, and it doesn't really work like that. I think it's more meant to every once in a while you go back and you grind it, and then you break it up with progress in the game, and then you go back again. So, yeah, basically, it got really boring. Admittedly, we were hoping for something better. We were hoping to do the whole thing. We were hoping it was going to be more interesting. And quite frankly, the mode just doesn't hold up, you know? And again, after having talked to Kat after the stream, she was like, yeah, it's not that she was upset or anything, but she was just feeling so fatigued because, number one, again, she's not a streamer. She's not used to sitting here for 2-3 hours in a row, not getting up, not stretching, not taking a break. She's not used to sitting in this chair. And again, when she did it for herself, she was in a living room downstairs. She could take breaks. She could tag in and out to do the main story. So it wasn't boring. This was becoming incredibly boring doing it the way that we were doing for her. And again, it wasn't like I tell you, like it's kind of similar to, I would say, the 2 weeks that we did the Q&A. The first week that we did Q&A in January, it was refreshing because Kat had come to the streams for the first time in ages. Tons of interesting questions, people, you know, wanting to talk with her for the first time in 5 years, right? And that was really awesome. The second time we did Q&A, it kind of got played out because now you got people coming asking the same questions, running out of interesting questions. Now the questions are getting more intrusive and more private and stupid things we're not going to answer, you know. Excuses. And that's kind of what we felt like happened, like, last night, having done the back-to-back co-op so quickly. It just wasn't really fun. And that's the thing is if we're going to do it, if Kat's going to come on stream and hang out with us, we want it to be fun. We want it to be a special time, something interesting, something notable, something meaningful. Not, we're just grinding through a game now, and who cares if it's fun or not, and we're all bored doing it, but who cares, right? It's stupid. Like, what's the point then? I might as well just stream anything else, right? So, I feel like this is probably the end of us doing that co-op. I don't think we're going to want to do it again. I don't think I even want to do it myself again, solo. I don't think I ever want to go back and do Dondoko Island. He quit. He rage quit. Kat and I thought that we were going to do all of Dondoko Island. We're not doing all of Dondoko Island. We got this 3-star level, which is essentially like the halfway point, and we're topping out now. We're bored, okay? We don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again solo. Regardless of co-op, I don't even want to do it again. I think it's boring, and I don't really feel like going back and spending more time doing it, okay? We got out of it what we needed to get out of it. It's now going to help the playthrough moving forward, okay? Kat is not upset or anything. In fact, you know what? I choose not to believe you. I don't believe you. Like Ron Burgundy says, I don't believe you. I choose not to believe you. She just was hoping that it was going to go better and be interesting, and she's now realizing, wow, it's nowhere near as fun doing it like this a second time where we're turboing through it. Again, if this was being done casually, slowly, over time, that's different than, oh, dedicated night streams just to do Dondolko, right? So, that's that for that. But of course now, a couple things happen. Number one, it kind of sucks because this was the co-op we were planning to do for a bit. You know, it was supposed to be 10 to 15 hours. We only played 5. So we essentially did 1/3 of what we were hoping to do. We were hoping that this co-op would last a few weeks, and now it lasted 2 sessions, right? And now it's done. So number one, yeah, people were expecting a lot more co-op, and there's no co-op right now, right? That's number one. So number two, where do you go from here? Because right now, there really are no co-op games out or coming out that we're really interested in. Like, she has 0 interest in Helldivers, okay? So that's not happening. We talked about other games. Like, everyone keeps saying stuff like, what about It Takes Two and stuff like that? She's not interested in that. You know, we have to do something that we're going to be interested in, so that it's not us sitting here being boring and just doing it for work. Again, that's what I'm emphasizing is, if my wife's going to be involved in my content, it has to feel fun, it has to feel special, and it has to feel like something we're interested in. Not, oh, she's just coming here to go through the motions of pumping out a piece of content. Because then what happens is you're crossing over the realm of private, personal with work. And I've done that before. Many times. You may realize, I had other people in my private life, back in the day who were involved in my content. And when you force it to just be work, it doesn't work. Okay? I know that for a fact. My wife left me. See, Sarah, and here's where you get it wrong. Because Sarah says, from what you're saying, it sounds like Kat doesn't want to be in the content. Wrong. She wants to be in content that she enjoys being a part of. There's a difference between me sitting here every day, putting out content because it's my job and I've done it for 15 years and I enjoy hanging out with you guys, and someone who doesn't do this for a living, hasn't been doing it for 15 years, and is honestly feels more like it's work to sit in front of this camera than anything else. She wants to do something that's fun. So we have to find something that would be fun. You understand? It's not that she's not willing to do it. She just wants to have to be putting out, like, again, watch the first Q&A video we did in January. She's grinning ear to ear the whole time. She's having tons of fun. Watch the first co-op stream we did Wednesday night. Aside for the very end where she got fatigued, which you could tell she was beat by the end, we were having tons of fun the entire time. Compare that to each second session, and you'll see the difference of it's not as fun anymore. Questions have dried up. The game got way boring. That's the difference. So the key is finding the balance of stuff that's going to be fun to do so that it's fun to watch. Do you understand? Not just grinding through something, because then it's not going to be fun for her and she's not going to have a good time, and that's going to come out in the stream, right? That's right. My 12 adopted children, and, my wife left me, and let's see, what else?